What's up, YouTube? It's your girl, allegedly A-lease, and I'm here to give you my thoughts and my opinions on Put a Ring on It. Before we get started, I want to thank each and every person who has taken a moment to subscribe. Thank you so much for your support. It really, honestly means the world to me. Also, thank you to those who took a moment to comment down in the chat. Listen, this is getting serious, and so really, thank you so much for giving your insight to this madness. Being able to hear everyone's various opinions means the world because it's how we grow as people and as human beings. If you are new to this channel, welcome. I hope that something is said or done to move you to like, share, and subscribe. Now let's get into it. We open with Sean giving in to Dr. Nicole's pressure and agreeing to another date. He's also saying everything Dr. Nicole wants him to say. Okay, you ain't scared to hang out with other women. And it's cool if LaRonda goes and hangs out with a bunch of dudes in Morocco by herself. See, it's easy to say that now, but you just wait until you have a fire drill. You'll be running back to the bathroom. So for this week, Eric, Jessica, LaRonda, and Sean will all see the person they went out with last week. When it gets to Darian, he's like, don't call it a date. It's not a date. There's a few things I want to call you, Darian, but I'll wait. He says that he can see Kai going off based on his experience with women. Sir,
you ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie.
This woman is not gonna go off because of Darian. The women in your life that have gone off are going off because you're detaching them from the local artist that you are. They feel like they're losing out on their bragging rights, which I don't understand, their access locally, and their ability to name drop Phil Mob. Dr. Nicole says, well, Alexia, since you clearly don't know a good thing when you see it with Monty, just sit over there and time out and work on you, boo-boo. This week, the couples are tasked with examining their vision of marriage. Oh, this is an open book test that Darian is sure to fail. Now, Dr. Nicole preached a whole sermon when she said many will spend time preparing for the wedding, but not enough time preparing for the marriage. The doors of the church are now open. Darian, will you come? After the session with Dr. Nicole, the Debos are driving home, and Debo 1 says that she really doesn't get why Debo 2 thinks that this session was super confusing. Now, to her point, Sean is wanting a cookie for going through the motions of dating other people, but is quite awkward because he doesn't seem to know how to compartmentalize the fact that she's beautiful, but I have a woman. So let me program my mind to brush past the beauty and be platonic, non-physical friends. Instead, Sean is like, ooh, she has cooties. Across town, Jessica can't seem to manage her emotions when it comes to Eric wanting to see Miss Leilani again. Now, you need to be thankful that she's not cooking, bruh, because when sis asked you if you were ready for your date, the smile that you had would have upgraded your dinner reservations to the ICU for 2. Now, somehow they're having a conversation, but they're not listening to each other. You ready for your date? I'm ready to get out of the house since I've been inside all week. Oh, you sick of me? Eric, never answer that fool. Less is best. Try saying something like, I'm ready to go so I can hurry up and get back to you. And just, everything is not about you. People who live alone say that all the time, so who are they tired of since it's only them at their house? Babies communicate better than these two. Jessica greets Leilani at the door, and I have so many inappropriate jokes at the moment, but I'll just pack them away and stick with the, hey girl, you so beautiful too, girl. Okay. Keep that same energy. The fakery continues up the stairs until Lele says, oh, you didn't tell me she was this beautiful. And Jess is like, what do you mean he didn't tell you I was this beautiful? Relax, Jessica. It's a compliment. Are you really that slow that you don't understand a compliment? I think she was really actually trying to be nice. The conversation quickly goes from jealous to unstable creature. Jess says, oh, okay, well, Leilani, I tell you what, you can give me and my man a couple's facial. Lele says, well, that's cool. All he needs to do is call and book an appointment, and now all of a sudden
just wants to go all waiting to exhale on us.
I do everything for him. Now, while Eric has a good point that Jessica is all messed up because Leilani is pretty and she has a little spunk in her,
I also feel like Eric is putting 20 on 10
because he knows that this bothers Jess. Half the time, this man can't even understand what Lele is trying to say. Before Jessica lets them go, she decides to embarrass herself just a little bit more. Jessica, you're only entertaining this woman's ego with your oppressiveness. Now, yes, I just made that word up, but I guarantee you that you understand exactly what I'm saying. Anyhow, she gives them shot glasses to drink from with her image on them. Jessica, when you talk, all I hear is
me.
So clearly this is something that you do to men and women, I see. Dr. Nicole really needs to do some digging on this one, because you're too pretty to be acting this ugly. You know, LaRonda could school you, boo. If you watched how she moves, she only checks her man in private, never in front of the other woman. Over at Darian's and Alexia's, Darian is acting like a kid, hanging all under his mama because he acted a whole fool at school and he knows at any given moment the office is about to call. So he wants to be right there to intercept that phone call. I don't know why Alexia can't see that something's up with Darian. The whole no studio tonight, just spending time with you is clearly foreign to her based on everything that she said this season. Anyhow, they discuss their vision of marriage, and Darian says that he just doesn't want to lose the fun that they have. Oh, so this is a game to you. Sir, you've been with her for 14 years, so riddle me this. When can she have the title of wife? At your funeral or at the graveside? In his interview, he says that he's doing all of this for Lex. That makes for issues down the road if you don't do it for yourself, sir. Now let me say this, lonely is real, and you know that you're just out here sampling flavors of ice cream, but now you be real hurt once you got your fix if you got back home and your steak and potatoes wasn't sitting there. Stop acting like you wouldn't miss Lex if she left. Y'all, now this man says that he's excited about the idea of having a baby with Alexia. This is how you know he's up to no good. Alexia says, so in this marriage, you should be coming home every night since the condo is gone. No ma'am, Pam. Now it's gonna be, well, I slept at the studio. Because most studios actually have bedrooms, since producers and artists may work extended hours. I mean, not Darian, because he hasn't had a hit since some of y'all were born. Darian going to that studio every day.
Singing that shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Darian says that he didn't have any good examples of marriage, and he doesn't want to scar Alexia the way that he saw his grandparents scar each other. Sir, that's kind of what you're doing right now as we speak. Back over with Jessica, Dr. Nicole stops by, and before her bottom introduces itself to the chair, Jessica's ready to lay into Eric's rapid-fire questioning tactics. Now be careful, girl, because y'all act just alike, so take some ownership. Jessica says that all of the questioning he does is uncomfortable and causes her to keep her guard up. Dr. Nicole wants to know where did she learn to keep her guard up, to which Jess says from her childhood. She says that she was always picked on as a kid, and now it's carried over into her adult life. Now, in going through the types of friendships that Jessica attracts, we find out that she gets along well with others who have their guards up as well. Ma'am, those are not authentic friendships. And at some point, you're going to have to ask yourself, what are you really getting out of it if you both are being too fake and too phony to let your guards down? Really, what I hear you saying is that you have friends so that you don't have to talk to yourself. But in actuality, you're doing just that. You're talking to yourself because your friend is a wall, and so are you. Now, I'm all for owning your past, but the sing-song voice is not needed, which makes me think you're not really being serious about becoming a better person for yourself or for Eric. God, that's so irritating. Jessica, don't do that no more. In her interview, she says that everything going on with her and her wall up with Eric is due to her childhood. Okay, Jessica, it's one thing to own it, but it's another thing to use it as a scapegoat so you don't have to work on yourself. Now, I went through some of the same things that Jess went through, but now as an adult, I often look back at some of the people I had issues with, and I actually process and ask myself where I came up short, and I use that as I move forward in current friendships and networking groups. Jessica, you really have to take a moment to own your part in whatever it was, as well as understand that everyone has shortcomings, and so learning how not to treat people how you were treated is also just as important in that. Jessica says in this relationship she wants to be understood, loved, and trusted. Then why are you hanging around if you're not getting any of that? Maybe, and hear me out, I don't know this to be true, this is just my opinion, but maybe it's because you don't understand, love, and trust yourself. Dr. Nicole makes it plain to Jess. Y'all literally do the same thing to each other, but when it's done to you, you feel away. Since y'all like playing mirror, try saying and doing the positive things that mirror each other. Somewhere in Atlanta, Tyree is meeting up with Sean. He says he's having a hard time with this date because the chemistry is there, so he knows what can happen. Sean said he tired, boss. He doesn't want to go on there another day because Sean's got a woman at home. LaRonda, girl, you really need to teach us how to put the fear of God in them when it comes to you 101 class. Make a lot of money. Tyree said, look, it's clear that this is going nowhere, so I'ma use this wasted date to hit y'all with this flex. Now watch me work. Out with Eric and Leilani, they go to a nice quiet wine bar. Eric has that old dirty dog with worms look in his eyes. He asks if she's okay since Jessica acted a whole fool. Lele said, nah boo, that's your issue, it's not mine. She ain't bother me at all. Oh, poor baby. Eric wanted to play in the deep side of the pool when he said he's learning Spanish, until Lele said, okay boo, let's hear it. He gives her the first thing Rosetta Stone teaches you immediately after they teach you hola. Child of God, I got more from Color Me Bad than I got from Eric.
Te quiero mucho, baby. Te quiero mucho.
I can't, Eric. I'm trying to can, but I can't, sir. If you don't swim your little butt back over to the shallow side of the pool with Jessica before you drown. On another day, the guys all meet up with Dr. Nicole, looking like a one-hit wonder boy group. Sean says Dr. Nicole is literally kicking rocks. They were happy with their little stones unturned until she came around. And so now they're having to have a lot of hard conversations that they didn't have to have before. Both Sean and Eric share that being open in their relationships have gotten them the man up response. Dead. Dr. Nicole says, silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. As grown men, you determine how the conversation will go based on how you are and what you say during that conversation. Now, as far as the man up piece of it, that's totally inappropriate, and clearly she has some issues that's going on that's above you. Meanwhile, Darian shares that he is beside himself at the fact that Alexia has decided after 14 years. Let's count that.
Oh, where is the number of the day? Where can it be?
If you see him, point him out.
14.
14. Aha, yes! At last!
Well, you get my point. After 14 long years, she's given him an ultimatum. She told him that he will either need to put a ring on it, or she'll say,
Balance.
he asked Dr. Nicole to make him feel better about getting engaged. Dr. Nicole said, what do you want me to do? Try Jesus. She says, you have been happy in your pattern for 14 long years. Now sis has a right to say enough is enough. And Darian finally seems to get it. Dr. Nicole says, what all three of you need to figure out is you done or is you finished? Because at this point, it's marriage, or just admit this isn't working and stop wasting each other's time. She says you make it seem like it's up to someone else if you get engaged to Alexia, but you need to take ownership because it's on you. So take some responsibility or accept that at the end of this process, who you came here with, you may not leave with them. And on that note, Dr. Nicole puts her church finger in the air and waves it like she just don't care as she makes her exit. After Dr. Nicole walks away, the guys check on Darian. You okay, champ? And if you think for one moment that Darian learned something, you're wrong. She worried about Alexia's rights. What about my rights? I got rights. I'm giving up the condo for the girl. Sir, giving up that condo means nothing. A dog will find a way to bury his bone, one way or another. May I have your attention, ladies and gentlemen?
Let's get ready to rumble!
With Darian and Kai. They meet up, and as Kai walks in, he goes in for the hug, and Kai hits him with the business handshake. I love it. In her interview, she said her issue is that Darian ghosted her, and that's not how she gets down. Kai said, what's going on? To which Darian says, I wanted to see you face to face because a phone call would be disrespectful. Sir, again, you and Sean seem to have a hard time with this one. Dr. Nicole is making you do this, so please stop playing. But Kai said, too late. I've already been disrespected. So why even bother after... Now he tries to explain that things haven't been too happy at home with all of these dates. Kai says, so you want me to take one for the team? Then this man decides to continue to share too much by saying he's been under Alexia 24/7 to try and fix their relationship, and it seems to have worked. You slow bunny. Kai said, yeah, maybe for this situation with me, but y'all was jacked up before me. Facts, Kai. In her interview, she says he's just as confused as a dodo bird. Sis, you wasn't saying that when you assumed that you could take Alexia's spot. But she does drop a gem, saying that Darian needs to be accountable and stop blaming others. Oh, Kai said you tried to keep me content and quiet by calling every chance you got, but you never considered considered my feelings. You were more worried about her finding out about us than about me.
You wasn't worried about Alexia. What goes around comes around.
She goes on to say, funny, you wasn't worried when you were.
You lay it low and spread it wide. You don't care who it is. What? Now, figure that out.
In the words of Tracy Braxton, Darian sitting there looking like a bump on a log. Kai says, cheers to closure. And that's where we leave it. So I want to know, do you think that Darian proactively came clean to Alexia about laying it low and spreading it wide with Kai? Do you think that they will stay together? Let's chat about it down in the comments. Until the next time, I'm allegedly A-lease. Peace.